So today we are going to do some paper casting. I had seen this a couple years ago and wanted to try it and never did. And then I just recently saw it again online, and it's not my original idea, but it is way fun to do. So I'm going to be using the Jolly Holiday stamp set from TheAlleyWayStamps. First one I'm going to do is this cute little snowman. And this is so super easy. So all you do is take your stamp and you place it on an acrylic block face up. Then you have, this is 6 layers of double ply tissue paper. So if you're using a single layer, then you need to use 12 single layers. So at least, you can do more, or I guess you could do a little less, but you'll get a better impression if you have it like this. And then I store my water in this little container I got at the dollar store. For me, it's easier to control how much water comes out, and it's not as messy. So all you do is take, and you're going to saturate the water in the middle of where your image is. And it doesn't matter if your toilet paper has a design in it, because that'll go away. And then next you're going to take a washcloth and you're just going to press it over on top of the image. And I like to take one finger inside of my washcloth and go all the way around, pushing down, so I really get a great impression. Like that. And then you lift up, and there is that cute little snow dude. Now I'm going to set this aside to dry. This needs to be completely dry before you do anything else with it. I wanted to also do this cute little jolly old St. Nicholas here. And I had taken the dies. These are circle tag stacks, decorative circle tag stacks. And they look like ornaments to me, not tags. So that's what I did. I cut one out, and I want to be careful when I'm doing this because I like how the edges are sealed here. So I want to place Santa, or jolly old St. Nicholas, right on top. So what I like to do is do it face down first, then carefully kind of lift the two up together and flip it over so I know that he's centered. And then when I'm doing this, I do just a little bit of water because it's going to puff up and separate the edges. That should be good. Let's grab our towel and start pressing down. And you really want to get it as dry as possible so that it takes less drying time. Take my finger in here, make sure that it gets all those cute little details. And then lift that up. You can see that I had a little bit of black ink left on my stamp, but there's Mr. Jolly Old St. Nicholas, so I'm going to let this dry too. I would suggest, if you're going to do tags or ornaments or anything like that, to cut them out first before you stamp them, because if you run this through any kind of cutting machine, it's going to take out your embossing, so it will no longer be embossed. Okay, I just cut 2 out from the Dynamics My Favorite Things tag stack, and I love this because it has that little border around it, which makes it super fun. Okay, I have the holiday sparkles here, and I'm going to set that down and do the same thing. I want to make sure that I have this kind of in the middle, so I'm going to press down and flip it, and then just put the water on it, grab my towel, and really press down, and then go all the way around. You can see that it made this part wider than this part. So my solution for that, when that happens, is you can see it has an awesome casting right there. But I like to flip this over and kind of put my finger there so it doesn't go over there. And then give it a little water at the top here so it all expands. So it's all the same basic size, and it all has that little bit of texture to it. There we go. So there's that awesome snowflake right there. Okay, the other one I wanted to do was this cute little penguin. And this is from the Jolly Holiday set as well. So let's see where I want him. I think I'll do him right about there. Push down hard and it sticks to the paper. And then flip it over and there is our cute little penguin. So I'm going to let these dry and then come back and show you what we're going to do with them. Okay, so I just want to show you a couple that I experimented with last night to see how it would look if you stamped it before putting the water on it. So this is my favorite things. They're color box ink, and it's pretty cool. It's not like the best, it does bleed some, but if you cut around the edges really carefully, I think it has a really cool effect. So I might be using that. This is a Stampin' Up ink, and I think that was the worst, so I would never use that again, but so the little dude's in there. And then this is Distress pads. So I just tapped the pad where I wanted it. Like there's a blue here, a red here, and oh dang, I can't remember what I used here for the snowman. Something that had a lot of color in it because it bled everywhere. So that's the pads. And then these two are markers. I don't have very many markers. And those seem to put off the absolute most color. So that's if you did it beforehand. Now I know that if I stamp this after, that it'll just give me just the impression if I put it exactly where I had it before. So if you're making a scene like I did here, I did 3 snowflakes, a little bird, the snowman, and then I did the word or sentiment believe inside the snowman. I would suggest keeping it on your block until these are dry and then to stamp it again so that you don't have to try to recreate the scene by placing the stamps here and then putting your block on. So those are just a couple ideas that I did and little tips and tricks of what didn't work and what does work. I think the markers, the distress markers, were kind of the coolest. They have like a watercolor effect. So if I had more of those, I would probably use those. Okay, so these have all finished drying and you can see that they curled up a little, but that's okay. We are going to fix these. So the next thing I'm going to do is just take one image at a time, and I'm going to use my stamp press because I just feel like it's easier to go down on top of an object even though it's clear. I have a little more control with it. I'm going to use some VersaFine ink. I feel like this gives me the best black impression. Now you don't have to stamp yours, you can leave yours just all white, which would be really pretty too. Press that down on top of the little guy. So there's that cute little penguin. Okay, next is St. Nicholas. I'm using that VersaFine ink again. And it's important when you do this not to get the VersaFine ink all over the edges or inside the little crevices because that will show up. Okay, next I'm going to use, this is Snow Cone. And I hope this shows up. If it doesn't, then I'll go over it again with a different color. And there's that. Okay, so the next thing for me was I cut out pieces of cardstock that were in the exact same shape, and I wanted to do this so that these have something to go behind it, so it makes it a little more sturdy. So I'm just taking my tape runner going all along the edges. And I'm making sure to get all the edges so that it really sticks down really well, and then a couple lines in the middle. And then I'm just going to line this up. Now remember, this is going to be a tiny bit bigger than the original die. So it might shrink, it might be a little wider. So you're going to have to take and snip off a little, or another idea, if you don't want to use a pre-cut die cut, you could just tape this down to a piece of cardstock and then just trim it out, which is a great idea as well. So I just have a little square here, and actually it's not very even on this side. The trimmer didn't work as well as I thought it would. Okay, so I just cut the snowman into a little square, and then I'm just going to take off a little bit of the edges to make it into a tag shape, and we're going to leave him actually white. Next, I have my crocodile here, and I'm going to punch a hole. So I just have two little strips of paper here. They're not even the same size, it doesn't matter really. And I am going to make these into a little banner. So I'm just scoring two little points there, and then two little points there. This one I want to be red, so I'm just going to take my R29 Copic marker and color this. And then I just have, this is an embossing buddy. You just need something that's anti-static. Grab Versamark ink pad here. And I have the sentiment Jingle Bells, and I've placed them one on top of the other. Just going to grab that. Actually, I'm gonna have to stamp the bells separate because they can't get close enough like that. So stamp the jingle and grab the bells right underneath. And then I just have my white embossing powder here. I'm going to heat emboss this. For the other little white piece, I have the sentiment from that same set, it says Noel, and I'm going to use some VersaFine ink and place that right in the middle. What you're going to do, you can see where I've cut the two, or scored the two little edges there. You're going to cut up the sides however long you want your banners to be. Mine are not going to be super long. You're going to do that on both sides. Now if you want, you can measure yours out so it's perfectly perfect, but you know me, I'm perfectly imperfect. So I'm going to fold the first one back, that first little line back, and then you fold the other line forward. And that gives you this cute little banner. And this is going to go on my Jingle Bell one, like that. And I'm going to use some foam adhesive. So there's that cute little tag. Now this could be an ornament, which would be adorable as well. So, okay, so let's do the same thing to this Noel. I just have some sheer ribbon here, and I'm just going to take the two edges, pinch them together to make a point, place it through the hole, open this, and then pull it. Now you want to be very careful when you're pulling because this is just tissue paper. It does have the paper in the back, but you still want to just be really careful and not pull too hard. I'm going to use this Totally Sky by Trendy Twine. Actually, I think the yellow would have looked better. Yeah. And then I'm going to use Copic markers. And after this is dried, you can color really quickly in a few of the little areas. And that's why I like using the stamps that have like a lot of black around them, because that's already done for you. So I have a medium jump ring here, and then I have each jingle bell attached to a medium jump ring, and I'm just going to hook that on the side of the twine and then close that up really well. There we go, that's adorable. Okay, then I have two little medium white jump rings, and I'm going to place it onto this little star charm. I remember when charms were super popular, so I have a little bag still of them left. And then I'm just going to take the top jump ring and scoop it underneath that twine and then close it. This little guy here, I'm just going to grab BG11, YR21, and then my 100, and I am barely going to touch for some little eyes. So there's that cute little snowman one. And then last is our Mr. Santa, or Mr. Old Saint Nick, I should say. And I'm going to grab my Copic markers. So there he is, all colored up. I am in love with this. I think I might do my ornaments like this year. So that finishes all 4 of our tags or ornaments, whatever you want them to be, using toilet paper. How cool is that, right? I'm so glad I tried this technique. It was so much fun, and I love that you can color with using your Copics on top of it. So I hope this inspires you to go and create something that's perfectly imperfect, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.